Papa.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Laser Source Podcast, the number one podcast if you like large concentrations of men. We have plenty of them for you tonight, including but not limited to Matt Bodiford, Kyle Gustafson, Jason from Rotoboss is here. What's up, Jason? And Michael from Laser Engraving 911. And Anthony's back with his sixth child, Bronson. You know him as Cuban Cracked. What's up, dude? That's it. That's all I have for my official intro. You can make me small now.
I'm large.
You even did that.
Great.
Hey to everybody in chat. Vince is here. We're going to be talking about Vinny tonight. No good. What's up, Jack? Laura. Edward. Edward says greetings. Lara. How's it going, Lara? 3DHP, what up?
Got all the usuals in here.
Yep. What's up, Rob? Madly Crafty. Hey, yo. Bunny Eater, long time no see. I mean, you're always in the Discord, but I haven't seen you on a live in a while.
Yeah.
Mike C. Mike C knows what's good.
Yeah.
Everybody's like, what's going on? Mike's like, I got it. I got it under control. What's up, Resin? Engraved Dreams. Oh yeah, full house tonight. I like it. Yeah, we got just like a lot of people here today because everybody wanted to participate, and we have an open door policy here on the Laser Source Podcast, so we're jamming it in. And don't make that face. That's not okay. Let's start with you, Mr. Matt. How's the FLBS? You want to talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, man, the new job is pretty dope. I'm back to being Mr. Bodiford. So today I was talking about like literature and we were talking about stories. I think we were talking about meiosis. That's always fun. You know, all the kinds of nerdy literature stuff. And then the cool thing is getting to come hang out with you guys is nice. Little change of pace. And then I'll hopefully be able to make some videos soon because holy cow, man, like the new schedule is from 8 to 8 and it's a flex schedule.
Is it starting to feel like, does it feel special again instead of mundane? It's like,
it's just different. Like it's a good different though, because like, so instead of having like 180 kids like who are always in thing, and honestly the best part is just being at home instead of at a school that struggled to have air conditioning issues and like all kinds of stuff, because in Florida like AC issues, like 87 degrees in your classroom with 40 kids or 30 kids. That's tough. The school was always great and the kids were always cool, but it's just one of those things. So the neat thing is today, like it's 67 degrees, I'm wearing this in my garage, you know, and I was like helping kids and doing stuff, and it was pretty neat. So yeah, pretty cool. And then as far as lasers go, did some really cool stuff on the Talon. If you want to make me big, I thought this was pretty cool. Like Kyle,
big boy.
Yeah, so this is a new cup that just came out, and a lot of the different companies. This is not Johnson Plastics Plus, who is our sponsor, but this is a really cool one. I think it looks really nice for the fall. I've got some like pumpkin ones. I think I showed you guys the pumpkin one a couple weeks ago, but this one was really cool. So this is the local shop in town. The reason I bought these is for these colors. They look really cool, and I used some guy like the Rotoboss guy or something. He made some kind of cool Talon, and it's making these come out full wraps in like 8 minutes. So being able to make those really quickly and take them up to the shop and drop them off. So the nice thing is I'm not doing like ordered customs really, just kind of making some in-mass items.
Particular gold color looks like something that would be sitting on the set in Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade. Like with
I thought it looked almost like Ed Hardy stuff. I thought it looked like Ed Hardy.
It does have like an Ed Hardy color to it.
Hey, yo, you like to get smashed up in the face with the cup? Because this is my Ed Hardy cup. Where's my shirt? What were those shirts that everybody wore for a long time?
Comes with a set of bedazzled jeans.
Yeah, the bedazzled jeans, like the boot toe tips that go up a little too high. Like, you know.
Like a tap out shirt.
Tap out, that's what it was.
Low rise jeans.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, but like the tough guys who like, you know, and I'm not trying to, I don't know, maybe they were tough, but at the same time.
Hey, yo, all you tough guys in chat, keep it to yourself.
What are you keyboard cowboys over there with the keys? But yeah, so anyways, this is really cool though. So being able to do this so easily and so quickly just really makes it nice enough to be able to I can walk into the store and the guy's like, hey, you got any new designs? And I said, yeah, here you go. And he puts them up on display. And basically what's really cool is I told him, I said, yeah, I really don't want to make a whole bunch of these and then just have them sit. So can we just have these here? And basically people can just order them through you. And he goes, yeah, like that's cool. So literally I'm not having to lose stock. I'm not having to do anything. It's a really, really good partnership. The guy had a sublimation person. He had someone who did acrylic earrings. He had all like the cute stuff, but he didn't really have any laser stuff. So
He didn't have any Ed Hardy.
you're gonna smack some people around with your Ed Hardy cup. So, anyways, yeah, full wrap around your face. So, all right, I'm done.
Nice.
All right, let's see.
Kyle's essentially flip-flopped, so Kyle's back full-time, filling those big old shoes that Matt left behind to go to FLVS. How's your first week back been, Kyle? We haven't really had a chance to catch up.
Hectic.
Yeah.
I spent the end of last week going into this weekend and early this week. So I had a laser taken apart and we were troubleshooting it. And I had to rip it apart the rest of the way. So I have it down to bare components right now. I literally have stacks of components for fiber over here.
Yikes.
So my entire workspace plus the space I didn't have is covered in parts right now.
But don't you also have like 7 fibers? Like,
No, I have
No?
4.
Okay,
I
all right.
only have 4, Matt.
4 fibers.
It's hectic. I've got 3 lasers.
It's hectic.
I had 5. I sent you the 5th one.
That's true. That's true. You still have it. It's coming back at some point.
Whatever. But yeah. So, anyways, it's an interesting story. I still can't share all of it, but it's going to be a rather interesting
A tasty morsel.
vloggy customer
Hit job.
experience review type of video coming soon with a whole lot of feedback.
I bet.
A whole lot of feedback.
A whole lot.
Constructive feedback, right?
Yeah. If you guys didn't know, my background, most of my professional background has been in IT and customer service. So I have a lot of customer service feedback.
You're always a man of mystery.
I don't want to kill the surprise for the company that's involved.
It'll be shocking for them. Certainly.
Well, because it's really, and to be fair, like Kyle's not trying to be like all cryptic. He basically told me I think a month ago at this point. He was like, I really want people to see like what it's like to deal with these companies from who, like when you're not someone who's from a laser channel, you're just a guy who bought a laser.
As far as they're concerned, I'm just some dude.
Kyle's living out his undercover boss fantasy.
So
Hey, you guys don't even realize
Sounds like a
this
new
is
series for you guys. I think you should make this a series.
Undercover Kyle.
All he does is take his glasses off and he's like, my name is Kyle.
Yeah.
all I can think
Hi,
of is Chris Farley
I'm
and
Tim. It's my first day, and I don't know what to do with my fiber laser. I need help.
all I can think of is Chris Farley and Beverly Hills Ninja.
Yeah.
But yeah,
anything else?
so
Did you have something else?
I mean that's it really. That's
Yeah.
all I've really
Yeah.
had going on. Been responding to people, been helping people out.
If you know, you know, because Kyle's always out there on the front lines picking fights. Mullins, you couldn't join us last week because you had explosive diarrhea. How'd that resolve itself?
You mean the double dragon?
Yeah.
Not the double dragon, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it was more just me being run down and just not having any room left in my tank to even turn on a microphone or a camera or anything.
I know all about that, dude.
I
I'm
just
like
needed a
Mr.
face-
Bale.
I needed a face plant on my bed and just call it.
Yeah. Good.
But yeah, everything's going good, man. The more I listen to Kyle, I feel I wish I had like an optimist Kyle, like in a closet here in my shop all the time, and I could just be like, God, I can't figure this out. Beep boop beep beep, and like Kyle will just come out and be like, Here, let me help you resolve this issue with your galvanometer on your fiber laser. I'm like, great. Yeah, everything's going good, man. I have been working really hard last week on a new video coming out, so I've been filming all that.
Yeah, you've had some juicy shit up on that channel, dude.
Yeah. It's been a struggle to keep it going on a regular basis sometimes, because lately I've been doing a lot of talks and presentations on customer centric, versus product centric laser engraving businesses. And since I'm customer centric, it can really flow, right? It can really be busy, and then it can be quiet, and then it can get like totally busy where I'm like, how am I going to make content? And then it can get really quiet. So that's one of the, it's not like, I don't know, I feel like, product centric, you have a little bit more of a steady flow and you kind of know what to expect. So, but yeah, I've been staying busy for sure. And did a lot of, actually been playing with a lot of laser cleaners the last week. So, yes. And I have a bunch of content, and I'm going to release
one of those
another true facts about laser cleaning, and really get into the nitty gritty of continuous wave versus pulse wave, and kind of just get rid of some of those myths out there, and also share some true facts about that technology that I found out in the last couple weeks. So that's what I've been up to.
I didn't see this Temu episode.
I got one of them coming too.
Oh, nice.
The laser cleaner, Jason?
Yeah, well, the 3-in-1, the cleaner, the welder and cutter. Yeah.
Yeah.
I got a 2 kilowatt coming my way.
Nice.
Yeah. Well, I hope I get my video out in time. Hopefully I'll share some experience, knowledge, and show you some things that I found out that I think are good. Yeah, that laser cut stone one did well. That Temu one exploded. I don't know if it was Temu pumping it or what. But
yeah, I was gonna. How did that go? Did the blanks work out? Did they actually?
The blanks were actually really for the most part. They were really good. Yeah. They were really good for the most part. The issue with Temu is that they're there 1 week and gone the next. So like you could have a really great deal on these little wooden ring boxes, and then you're like, dude, I sold out of the 30 I bought in like 2 seconds, and you go back to try to find it again and it's gone. You know what I mean? And that is kind of one of the flaws of Temu, is things come and go,
So is it kind of like AliExpress in that regard?
It is. It's a lot like AliExpress.
But then digging through Alibaba is always like its own, like you got to spend a day doing that, man.
Yeah. I think
I gotta say that the set's looking real nice.
Oh yeah, dude. I had to have a set, dude. I got tired of just filming in random places in the shop. So I think that's my format now. It's just kind of sitting at the table, doing my talking head stuff, and then filming a bunch of B-roll of what I'm talking about. That seems to work really well. Right. Yeah.
And of course, if you're watching this, guys, and you haven't already subscribed to Laser Engraving 911, I'm sure most of you guys are, there will be a link in the description, or you can just go to @Laser Engraving 911 on YouTube. Go sub to Michael's channel. It's really good. Full of just dope stuff all the time. Yeah, man. You've been pumping it out. I feel like you're feeling like it's hard to keep up with, and I'm feeling like it's hard to keep up with you. You've been going crazy over there.
Oh, man. I feel like if we lived close to each other, we'd be pumping out a lot more, because we'd probably be jumping all over everything. Dude.
I wish we knew about YouTube back then, what we do now.
Oh, wow. That would have been crazy.
Yeah. But we do have a special guest, a little special guest. He looks so small next to you, dude. It's not even funny.
Is he sitting on the couch?
Don't talk badly about his son. Don't
little casting couch going on.
I know. Is he like 30 feet behind you in the background?
No, I'm really. No, he's pretty close to right next.
Damn. So
he just puts his arm up on
your sixth child, again, chat, you know him as Cuban Cracked. He's not in chat right now because he's on screen. What's up?
Hello.
Oh, wow. He's never been so excited in his life, guys. He's
the enthusiasm is overwhelming.
No kidding. So what do you do? Why are you on Anthony's casting couch? What's going on?
Sitting on the chair, it's really comfortable. It's the one that he normally like talks to people about business.
I didn't literally mean on the chair, buddy. Like, what are you doing? You doing
He was
at
off-
Anthony's house?
He was off.
So we've
was
been
offering
trying
free
to plan
candy.
a thing forever, and it finally worked out. It was what I like text you in this chat like 2 weeks ago, and I was like,
last week.
yeah, and I was just like, hey, on a whim, like, are you free? And it finally worked out. We've been trying to do it ever since like January, I think, right? January, February, or something like that.
Something like that.
Are you going over like any particular techniques? Is there like a certain reason that you want to come out?
Just to hang out and see what he does, and
Check out the shop.
exactly.
Yeah.
So you are on the casting couch. Got it.
He
What,
brought
have you
down.
done anything cool so far? I saw you send me a picture earlier today, Anthony, of that disgusting leather business card.
Oh,
This disgusting leather
That thing
business
is
card right
awesome.
here.
That's gross. It's like,
Hold
hey,
on, I got
did you
you.
ever
Hold
feel
on.
like you need your business name scored into flesh? Here you go.
Yeah. It's there we go.
Knowing
This was done on the
Anthony
YouTube.
out there in the corn, it's probably
Oh
human.
my god, that's so thick. It's so
Wow.
thick.
Did
That's
it
like
put
literally
lotion
like
on-
if, like if
did it
somebody
put
comes in with
lotion
like
on
a
its
0.8.
skin?
Yeah, exactly. Somebody drops like a 0.8 aluminum card on the table, like dropping it, and then he just comes in and it goes like flop,
You just slap it. You're
like a wet sponge.
Dude, am I
You
the
know,
only-
you know what that would be pretty cool for is like to slap like just a magnet back on that and like
I
toss
thought
it
you were
up
gonna
on
say
the
just
fridge.
to slap people with it and like leave your imprint on their
that.
face.
Am I the only one that when someone calls in to have a bunch of leather pieces cut out goes, oh god?
I just
Dude,
make sure my
no.
extraction
You know,
fan is
just
like
because of the smell, like,
Yeah.
oh man. Even if you have
Have
a
you
fume
seen-
extractor or you're pumping outside, as soon as you pull it out of the machine, dude, it's just gonna start stinking up.
It like off gases the smell.
That's what a
Yeah.
good filter system will do for you.
if only we knew somebody who could announce the new cool filter system. I mean,
Oh yeah, if only we knew.
There's nobody like that here.
my God, if only.
No one would have that.
Michael, have you seen the leather stocking
Whoa,
on
whoa.
Laser Everything? Have you seen that?
Oh,
Did you
dude.
see this?
Dude, leather. Oh, that's weird. Don't say that.
Engraved
Yeah.
dreams. Come on.
Leather's grossed me out. If you look really hard on the channel, I don't think it's appropriately tagged, but if you look really hard on the channel, you'll probably find an episode where this guy dropped off 2 leather stockings, like Christmas stockings.
Okay.
But they weren't just solid leather stockings. They were like patchworked together and they were all different like colors and thicknesses. It literally looked like a human lamp, dude. Like it was so, and ever since then I've just like, it's just leather's
His credit
just
card
gross,
just said Wild Bill. Like, what?
man. It was rough.
By the way,
And,
I like what Present said. Slapsgiving this year with the leather.
That's right.
Brave
Slap
Dreams
giving.
says, I love the smell. Oh no.
Yeah, that's what I just said.
Yeah,
Ugh,
dude.
that's- no, not okay.
And last but not least, we're just getting through roll call here. Jason, what's up, buddy?
What's up?
Long time no see. Just kidding. You've been here like 8 times in the last 4 weeks. You got something new today? You got a new product?
On which
Yep.
side of things?
I don't know. You've always got a fancy toy that you got to scratch your nuts with, or throw out a window or something. What do you got? What's over there?
We got a couple things. Of course, the Talon Pro. I think we talked about before.
Mhm.
The Ascend Pro, and then my main business with JR Custom Designs. We decided to be a U.S. distributor for air filtration systems, and we just opened up the site. We should have our first stock in probably late October. It's appleairusa.com, and kind of checks things out, see the specs. But my main goal behind that was we took a trip to Australia in January, and I met up with the guy that deals them down there, that came out with the product down there, and checked out his stuff and wanted to see what it was all about. So I got a chance to see that kind of firsthand, what they had, and then we decided to kind of partner up and become the U.S. distributor for them. But along with that, we actually developed a machine specifically for the U.S., kind of based on what I thought the market was looking for or needed. which is our signature series, and that's basically it can vent anything right back into the room. So it's got like a 99.9% efficiency rating.
That's cool.
What was that? What was that web address again? Because all I'm seeing is stuff about MacBooks that I don't care about.
AppleAirUSA.com. But yeah, so you got all the different filters. You got small ones for like your Galvos and desktop, small K40s, things like that. And then we have much larger machines for varying purposes or degrees of use or need.
I love this guy. Look at him. He's way too happy to be here.
The signature series is the one that we came up with for the U.S. specifically, and that, like I said, that was for several reasons. Mainly because I know in my case, I used to work out in a shop garage with very little AC, and having a portable unit or something like that, and you're constantly pumping air in and out of the room. So with this unit, you can cut acrylic, you can cut leather, you can cut pretty much anything with it, and it's going to vent right back in the room. We have a video on our YouTube and Facebook kind of showing that the room started out at 2.5 microns. It had 400. Sorry.
Did we lose him? Did he freeze? There he is.
It was pumping out 40, or the room itself was at 444 parts per million. Can you hear me?
Now we can.
Yeah, now we can hear you.
440 parts per million. Oh no.
Oh man.
Oh man.
Dude, I need to get this wired. This wireless is suck. Anyways, did you catch any of that?
We heard your starting ppm.
So it started at 440 parts per million, and after about 3 hours of running and cutting MDF, it was able to get the 2.5 down to 0, and about every other level down to like the low hundreds. So not only was it capturing the MDF stuff, and if most of you guys have cut MDF, you know how bad that stuff is. Catching all that, but it was also scrubbing the room air as well and bringing it all down. So it actually surpassed our expectations. But then we got other units that you can vent back in the room too, but you might have a slight odor, but it's still going to capture like all your smoke and particulate and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Is this the one that uses water and static?
No, it's
filters?
all of them, but the first one, the little one there, have some form or fashion of an E-stat filter, UV filters, and ion filters.
Whoa.
And then a combination
full screen here.
And then depending on which one you get, some of them have extra filters, some of them have HEPA filters. Like the Signature series has several HEPA filters. It's got cartridge filters, pre-filters, E-stat, UV, ion. It's just loaded with like 30 some filters in it.
So
as far as like, you're trapped in a room with no windows and this is the only option, they're not that expensive.
No,
all
I've seen
considered,
the other ones, they're like 3 times that price, 2 to 3 times that price.
Yeah, the better part about it is the filter replacement cost. Depending on the unit and how much you use it and such, your annual replacement costs are anywhere from $500 to $2,500.
Yeah.
Which, if you're using other filter systems, you might pay that just in one filter change.
For an order, yeah.
Yeah.
So, and you might have to do that 3 or 4 times a year. Whereas these, depending on the unit, anywhere from 50 to 70% of the filters are actually washable.
Nice.
The only thing that's not washable, the only thing that's not washable is your HEPA filter, your paper cartridge, and then of course your carbon filters, which is just it's a tray full of carbon. So you just dump it out, put new carbon in it, and
you hear that, Michael? You can do your carbon dump.
That's awesome. I've always wanted to do that.
But So yeah, we just try to make it simple and easy and cheaper
Thanks, dude.
compared to what's out there already.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's what's new for me.
So if you were gonna get one for like the garage I'm in is 20 by 20, right? Like your standard 2-car garage. Which one would be the best one?
I mean, if you wanted to vent back inside, the Signature is the best one. If you want to vent back inside, but you don't mind a little bit of odor, your F131 or the FE1, those would be the two best for multiple lasers. The FML one is the highest rated as far as capacity. It's like 7,000 square inches of volume that it can handle, and it's basically based on the size of the fan that you put on the end of it, because it doesn't have an internal fan. So you use whatever fan you want with whatever CFM to accommodate handling that volume, and you can go anywhere from the high end or low end of that with that one. And all of them can technically vent back in the room, but the only one that will get rid of completely all the smell is going to be the Signature series.
Gotcha.
The other ones will vent back in with varying degrees of odor, but you're going to still capture all your particulate, your smoke, all that stuff's going to be captured. It's just you're going to have some odor associated with it.
Yeah. Well, the other thing too that most people probably want to know, because I've never messed with an extractor. I've just always vented outside. Like, what does it matter if it's centrifugal fan or if it's inline for the ones that don't have one in them?
Well, the only one that doesn't have a fan would be the FML.
Right.
And
So
it doesn't matter which one you use.
Okay.
Centrifugal or inline. All the ones that are in it are squirrel cage, but they're heavily dampened and they have soundproofing, kind of like what's on
cool.
Alex's wall there. There's soundproofing inside. There's seals and gaskets, so you don't get that whistling sound. And I think the decibel level, I got a meter and stuff I'm going to test when I get it myself, but he ran a decibel test, and I think it was like 52 decibels.
Oh, nice. That's like a California Air Tools for anybody who doesn't know. So if you've got one of those, that's right about.
I think that might actually be a couple decibels under.
Yeah, it is. Like, I think California is like 59 or something like that. 62.
Yeah, it depends on the model.
Yeah.
I mean, it's quite low. I'm guessing on the number. I don't know the exact number off the top of my head, but I know it was really low. He said it equated to about like having a chiller, like a chiller running is about the noise level is at. Minus the annoying beeping. But
Jason, I'm on the Signature series page, and I see that I'm reading a little bit about it, and I use ozone to clean odors out of my. If I have a stinky room or the car gets stinky, I have an ozone generator.
Yep.
But I'm not in that room when that thing's running. I close the room off and let it do its thing, and then I air it out. This thing says it's generating, and I'm just asking questions because I'm uneducated on this unit, is generating ozone and it's using UV light. So how does those ozone particles not come back into your shop and fill your shop with ozone?
Well, the thing with those, and same thing with the UV filters, there's 5 UV filters, and I think 3 or 4 ozone filters, or the ion filters, and they're selectable. So like if you're doing something really potent, like acrylic or leather or MDF or something like that, you can crank on all the filters or all the lights.
Okay.
Or if you don't need it, you can turn them off. So you can control how much of it's actually being produced. So I mean, if you don't need it, if you're just doing regular engraving, there's no sense in having them on.
Yeah.
But once you start getting into acrylics and stuff like that, because that's what kills the odor is the ozone and the UV, along with the charcoal. But as far as that, yeah, you can control it all. So like if you turn them on and you start getting a real heavy odor of ozone, you can flip one of them off or a couple of them off and then run it and see if it. So you can kind of play with it and see what works best for you.
That's cool.
Yeah, that's a really good question, especially because, like, I mean, even with, like, we have small air filters. My house is flooding right now. So, like, we have a bunch of, like, air filters and dehumidifiers going, and They have like even the little ones that you get on like Amazon have switchable UV and ion, so that you're not like pumping the room full of ozone. Especially with like the kids in the house, you don't want them just like huffing ozone all day. That's not good for you. So it's nice that you can turn those off. That would be expected for sure.
Yeah, you can turn them. You can turn them all off or all on or any configuration you want. So it's really good to be able to have that option.
Yeah, that's cool.
Nice. You guys may have noticed I didn't publish a video yesterday. That's because I've been really busy with Vinny adding some cool new toys to the website. So I'm going to do what I love to do on this show and show off some new website toys for you guys. So here is the Make Army Network. If you guys haven't been here, and that's the wrong thing to full screen. If you guys haven't been here, this is really cool. It's kind of like a Facebook clone, but it runs on our server, so we're in control of the data instead of Mark. So this is pretty sweet, and we have a lot of people now on here. Let me see. Almost 1,000 members. There's 942 people here now, and it's got a lot of fun features, but it definitely only fills the Facebook slot. And we wanted to experiment with a couple things. So we found some free open source software. One of them is called PixelFed, which is a really cool Instagram clone. And some of you guys that are paying attention have already signed up. This can be found at pixels.makearmy.io. Of course, it's free, and you can post photos, which is really cool. There's Rhiannon and Chris working on some stuff on the Mira, and Vinny threw a couple projects up. We haven't really talked about this in public until just now, but all of the Instagram type features you're familiar with are there. And yeah, it's focused on, makers and being able to share, projects and techniques and things like that, just like everything else that, we do on those Make Army sites. If you're interested in that, sign up is open. But I will say it's definitely beta right now. Vinny and I are still squashing bugs like constantly. One of the ones that we're dealing with right now is just with like upload sizes, so it smacks down like half of the uploads that I try to put up because it's just they're too big, and we're trying to increase those limits, but it's not the most straightforward process. You'd think there'd just be like a button or something, but it's a little more difficult than
By the
that.
way, is that
Either
you next
way,
to Industrial Vape?
Yeah, no, this is me next to our vent. It's a
Oh,
shop vent, one of our proudest additions. It served people for centuries, and now it's ours. This is where all of our exhaust comes out of the building, and I was showing Chris and Rhiannon, and then Rhiannon asked me to pose for a picture, so
There
now
you
it's
go.
there. If
He's Vanna
Facebook
Whiting it.
if Facebook doesn't do it for you, and Instagram doesn't do it for you, we also went ahead and installed an instance of Lemmy. I don't know if you guys know Lemmy, but it's a federated, free, again, and open source Reddit, if you can't tell. We made a Reddit at one point, and we got banned like 12 hours into it after having created a... Not even? You're
Like an hour and
muted
a
there,
half.
Anthony. I hear Anthony exclaiming things into the void.
I was just saying it was immediate. I said
It was like immediate.
yeah.
Yeah. This on this site, also beta status, guys. You can find this at lemmy.makearmy.io. On this site, everything works from what we can tell, including creating communities, making posts, and things like that, except for images. I don't think we've locked down images yet. It uses a weird custom like image server that we have to run separately from the Lemmy instance, and that doesn't work yet, but we'll have that hammered out really soon. It's not incredibly complicated, but you can make posts and share photos, and people can reply with comments. It's really straightforward. If you've ever used Reddit, this is very, very, very similar to that. All of these things are really cool because they're federated, which means they can talk to all of the other instances that are running on other people's servers. So just because we have a Make Army Lemmy doesn't mean you can't see the Lemmys running on, 50,000 other servers across the world. So the whole point is that it's decentralized. So instead of one company controlling all of this data, the data is spread out on a ton of different servers hosted by people like us. And so that makes it super cool. That is true for both Pixels and Lemmy. And we're also going to have a Mastodon server coming soon, too. If you guys aren't familiar with Mastodon, it's the same thing, but Twitter. So all of those things have been kind of up and coming in the tech space lately, and it turns out they're all relatively easy to install. So if you guys are interested in checking these out, you can find them at these subdomains. The Facebook clone is at network.makearmy.io. That's the biggest one, of course. Almost 1,000 members on that one. And then these are brand new. These just went up this week and definitely in beta status, but pixels.makearmy.io and lemmy.makearmy.io. I'm only announcing them here right now, and I think I made a post about Pixels on the LMA, but it was a quiet one. So we'll just get like a handful of users in there if you guys want to get in, try testing out some posts and things like that, and we'll kind of figure out how it works together, and then we can open it up to more people. And I think that would be, a few new fun ways to communicate and hang out and share stuff and ask questions. So no matter what kind of platform style you prefer, we're going to try to have you covered on Make Army, so you've got somewhere to go to ask your questions. And I think these are really cool. What do you guys think? I haven't even told the guys about these yet. This is the first time they're hearing about it too.
Seems cool.
Yeah, the Lemmy one's totally new to me, but that's sweet. I'm gonna have to get logged in on it. Hopefully it lasts
Nice.
15 minutes.
I always think you and Vinny do cool stuff. I wish I could understand, but I'm just like, nope, that's a pretty picture.
Dude, I'm along for the ride. Vinny's really the powerhouse behind these. I'll send him a link to the documentation, and I'm like, I'm going to install this on the server. If you want to intervene and look at this before I start hacking and breaking things, then you are welcome to do so. And then I come back like 2 hours later and he's finished it. So, everybody high five Vinny in the chat. Let him know that we appreciate all of his hard work on the website. And that's what I got. How we doing on time?
It'd have to be an older high five though, because Vinny's like, there you go.
World War II was violent and scary.
When I was in my 40s. Hopefully he's listening.
Rough.
Love you, Vinny.
He's not.
He always gives me crap. He's like, you're the sublimation guy. Do sublimation.
Right? Yeah.
Oh,
Did we have any chat questions today?
I don't think anyone has asked a single question. I will say
I've
this,
seen a couple
James.
I wanted to shout out.
James, look at this.
Yeah, this is cool. James. Yeah, good.
Ooh.
Oh, look at James is banging out a 5,000 piece order.
Yeah, for the
he's
National Federation of the
the
Blind.
midnight oil there.
Hell yeah, buddy.
That's
He's a pretty cool guy. He got a hold of my company information and called me a few times, and we've corresponded on the phone. He's not that far from me. I accidentally ended up in his town 8 months ago, so it was but we didn't meet. But it's just he called me and he's like, "Yeah, I live in Kirksville," and I was like, "Wow, I was there last week. That's crazy." But yeah, he's a really nice guy, and a 5,000 piece job, he deserves that. I'm happy for him.
Anthony was on his casting couch. Now
That's
Bronson's
exactly
on
what I was
Anthony's.
thinking, dude. I was exactly thinking. It's kind of like Bronson's going to be in different cities across.
Yeah, it's a pyramid
Going at you,
scheme.
man.
Something about a pyramid. Anyways, let's see. Vinny said he's listening, and Matt needs to add to the sublimation buying guide. Love you, Vinny.
It's empty.
What is it? Mike is saying
It's
looks
empty.
like his iPhone browser doesn't
The
like.
sublimation buying guide is empty.
No,
There's
but
nothing
the sheet has all 20 of the things that we talked. I explained this to you. before.
Yes, the sheet that everyone has access to has all of the
Oh
items
my
listed on
god!
it.
Quit being sheety. Come on, that's good.
Liz Akin is also new to the show. Sorry, Liz. Sorry that you stumbled onto this mess. She says, "This is great. I'm new to the engraving world." Well, welcome.
She doesn't know anything.
Welcome, Liz.
Yeah.
Welcome.
Also, while we're down here, 3DHP wants to know where the corn is.
Yeah, he didn't want to be in the closet with me tonight, so no green screen.
No.
I was gonna say I'm not sure you do want to know where the corn is, but it's fine.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
In the corner.
That's messed up.
Oh my god. But yeah, nothing too exciting for me besides that, man. I have an order in the works right now. Kyle was actually helping with we were making renderings yesterday. So basically I have a former client who, well, I guess continuous client, and he ordered like, I don't know, I think it's like $7,000 worth of stuff is about what it's going to end up being. But the thing is, it's going to, like, I'm going to have to make it in pieces because I can't just crank out that. So I kind of just told him, I said, hey, I got to do it in this way. And he was like, all right, so it's glasses, it's flask, it's leather golf stuff, leatherette golf stuff, not real leather. And then that'll be getting out of here. Like, I think we were working on that last night, and I think it was like 1 a.m. and I was like, Kyle and I were like bashing our heads against the computer screen trying to figure out Adobe Illustrator, and Alex was taking a nap. Like the one night I needed him awake, he was like, I have to be a good dad. Like, what a jerk.
As I do.
All right, here we go. Oh, we got a question.
Oh yeah, did you see this? Look, Michelle, really quick. Michelle Jonas, like, totally got ahead of me on Pixel Fed. That's crazy. They must have been an early sign up. Did you find that on the LMA? I definitely posted about it on the LMA now, I think. Sorry, go ahead, Matt.
I was gonna say we got a question from Resin. It's a good one. Why are QR codes always such an SOB to engrave on wood or cardboard?
Contrast, baby.
Yeah.
Contrast and blow
On
out.
wood, if you defocus a little bit, it may burn, but which will give it more contrast. But then you have the downside of if you make it too small, you're going to wash out all the details. So
Yeah, usually on organics, when you up the contrast, you lower your ability to resolve details, which is the opposite effect of what you want. Yeah, so if you do something like defocus to increase the contrast, you have to scale up too. You have to increase the scale of whatever it is you're marking to give more space between those areas that are burning. So make sure you do that. But yeah, it's all about contrast with QR codes. That's how those codes are detected by cameras.
The other thing too is if you can use like an outline function, like, you know, like the what's the box that you check?
in EasyCAD, it would be contour, but in Lightburn, you would add a sublayer as a line.
There you go. Because that one, especially if you're on like bamboo or something that's really light and you can only get that, especially when you're in focus, like they were saying, and you get like that, almost like that tan color, it's kind of crap. One thing I've found is by delineating that, it helps it, especially if it's at an angle or something, it helps to kind of, for the camera itself to pick up on that contrast a little bit better between the two shifting colors that really aren't that far apart. So that might be something that's been helpful, because I did have to make a whole lot of bamboo coasters for a company that had QR codes on it, and that was like the one way that, and I defocused almost 6 millimeters on the CO2 Galvo.
Wow.
I know it's wild. I mean, like with the 200 lens that I have, like the focus, the depth of focus is pretty large anyways, but it knocked him out, dude. It was beautiful. And putting that on there was good.
Another thing about QR codes is that you can invert them when you need to as well.
Yeah.
And they are read either positive or negative. So sometimes that's a trick I've used in the past is inverting the QR code, so it's easier to get picked up.
Smart.
Depending on the material that I'm working on, right?
Laura says, I've yet to burn leather. I'm afraid, very, very afraid, burning flesh sounds. If you don't want to deal with the noxious properties of leather, but you want to try marking it, I highly recommend the fiber, because it still smells like leather, but it's far less volatile. I don't really know how to explain it. It's like wherever the smoke is from the engraving, like that smells like burnt leather, but everything else in the room does not.
The
which is not true for the CO2.
I was gonna say it's also the blade bed. It's also the bed that lays like the flat
honeycomb.
bed. It's like and it like lingers.
Yeah.
The fiber's a grade A way to start messing with leather and dealing with way less of the smell and mess. Obviously, your work area is going to be scaled way down, but if you're just trying it for the first time, you don't need a massive area anyway. And the fiber does really nice work on leather. We have a great episode about that on the channel, so if you haven't seen that, go check it out.
And just to show you guys what I was talking about too, I know we're back on the QR code, and this is metal, but just to show you guys what it looks like really quick. Where am I? I don't even know which one is my face. There it is. It's been a long day. So this one on the back, so especially if you're working, another thing too is when you're working with reflective surfaces too, QR codes really are a pain in the butt. So this was one of our customers who got a training. They had to put these on the tops of buildings around the country. But basically right there is what it was. And that they were saying that wasn't working for people because when they walked up, it just wasn't good enough. So we basically did this where you can kind of see the dark lines around the edges and how like when it hits the light, it stops the reflection. So if that makes sense.
Smart.
So, and so basically Kyle came up with a sub layer for that one because we were trying to figure that out. And so basically on the first training, we were like, hey, we'll take a look at that for you. And we did like an hour training. I think the second time we came back, Kyle and I had been working on that, and that was able to, because I had the shiny piece of metal, and Kyle and I had to figure it out together from like a part. That was fun. But the cool thing is we haven't heard anything back from him like saying that it was bad. So I must have solved the crisis. And that guy was really, really cool company. I don't think we can talk too much about it, but basically it was one of those things where it's like a lot of companies ask him to do that. And so he's like, I need this to work now. So pretty cool.
Yeah, that goes all the way back to like one of the early photo engraving episodes from before I even knew what I was doing with photos. And the trick with reflective metals was to put down like a steel white finish first, and then put down your details with a pass that would give you darker pixels. And that technique would work great in this instance.
Just making sure that was it.
Stephen Dorboss says, having a great time these days creating depth maps for people through Fiverr. Amazed that people will pay for something that they could easily do themselves. That's very true, but also like a lot of people just don't have the time, to do that kind of stuff. Even if it's fast, if you have to do a lot of them, sometimes it's easier to just throw it at Fiverr. But I'm glad that you're seeing success. And I'm glad that people are out there offering those kind of services for, a lower end budget to be able to let people try some of these newer techniques. So that's really cool to hear about.
Yeah.
Michelle is asking if leatherette is less stinky. I don't do that much leatherette. I just did a bunch of it, but I would say yes. Yeah.
It's like
A
nothing.
different kind of stinky.
Different kind of.
Yeah.
There's an odor. It's just not nearly as bad.
Yeah.
It's it's like polyurethane usually, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it smells like plastic.
That's what we all
But
Synthetic.
I think most people would prefer that over burnt flesh. So
Good time, yeah.
probably doing okay.
Well, and one of the things I was pretty surprised about, so I had one of my customers the guy who has the motorcycle shop, he reached out to me to create some acrylic trophies that were like 3-dimensional trophies. So basically like the kind where you print out one layer and then there's tabs and it goes into the next layer and it's the stand. And then I kind of ran out of time to do, because it was black acrylic. And you guys have probably done black acrylic on the CO2 laser. Like it's hard to get that crisp white out of it sometimes. And so like this one that I had didn't really do a great job. So I actually threw it under the fiber laser. And what would have been probably like a 45-minute engrave took about 6 minutes and came out looking like an embossed, super cool thing. And I wish I had a picture to show you, but like I literally finished in like 10 minutes before he got to the place, and I was like, all right, hey, yep, these are done. So yeah, worked out. So if you're somebody I just saw somebody in the chat say time is a hot commodity these days. Yeah, and what was really cool is he likes it. And so now all the other stuff that I do for him, he's really excited to have that. So don't be afraid to try new stuff and new techniques, different lasers, you get different results. Pretty cool.
Yeah.
And by the way, there's no acrylic smell when I engraved it. That was nice.
Mike is asking, how's the test bench coming along? I haven't started it because I want to record it. I have a lot of things that I haven't started that I need to record. I've just been in this place right now where I don't want to add to my giant backlog. So
he has a lot of stuff recorded that hasn't been done yet, too.
So much stuff that's been recorded that hasn't been edited yet. I'm going to get back to editing tomorrow. So when we get a little more caught up on the backlog, we'll start some new projects. I have every intention to complete that because that 30-watt Mactron is still sitting under the the desk that we use for like the main camera shot in the studio, and it's in pieces. It's not getting put back together, so that will be used for that purpose. And I have every intention to bring you guys along for the ride with that, because that's going to be a fun one for sure.
That's what I'm like super stoked about, like seeing
Me too, dude.
that out and just being able to like hot swap the components and test things, and just like that's going to be an awesome project.
Yeah, I need one of the things that I think I'm going to do for that in preparation for that ordeal is order just like 10 power supplies at like different levels, because I feel like every component that we swap in and out there is going to need something a little bit different power wise, and we're going to be like, if I swap a scan head, I feel like I'm going to be swapping a power supply. If I swap a stepper driver, I feel like I'm going to be swapping a power supply. If I swap a laser source, I'm going to be swapping a power supply. So I'm going to need like a little library of like power supplies that I can pull with parts to be able to do that with. But yeah, it's going to be a really fun time.
Funny you.
Can I make one little comment on leather? I just want to like share. So I found this channel recently, early in the morning, my coffee before everybody's awake, and this guy on YouTube is called Road Agent Leather.
Oh yeah.
And I was just like, who's this guy? You know, cool gun holster on the thumbnail. I was like, whatever, and it's got gold filling on the holster. And I was like, I got to see this, right? And lo and behold, this dude, the reason I'm sharing this is because this dude uses a laser too. So he's using a laser to engrave some elements, but he is a professional leather worker. Like most of his videos are about everything that a leather worker goes through to create these beautiful things. And a laser is a tool in his shop, and it's really cool to see him. So I just wanted to share that. If you want to see someone who's a master with leather, but also now starting to integrate lasers into parts of his designs in his shop, it was very impressive to watch him build this holster from beginning to end with the gold leaf fill in this dragon thing that he engraved on the holster.
It's really gold leaf.
It's real gold leaf.
Wow.
And he shows you
That's hard to work with, man.
He shows you the whole process from beginning to end of how he did it. And I just I shared it on my community page on my YouTube channel. I was like, if you want to know about lasers and leather and what leather workers do, like, this guy is amazing.
See, and what's really interesting too is so I actually small farm town, right? And here we have a few leather workers, and it's kind of like when Justin Laser came on the show, he had mentioned that like there's a lot of people who are like very hardcore old traditional leatherworking, and there's like the young guns who are coming in using lasers too, and there's a lot of people who are like, oh, don't you get me going, Skippy. And like,
and I get that they have all the tools to do the custom embossing and the die stamps, and I respect that, but it's nice to see that the lasers are making their way into these pro level leather craftsmen. You know, they're starting to adopt this technology, and it's really enhancing their work. Was kind of my point. It's nice to see it.
Oh yeah,
I think like a lot of us
really
too
cool.
are like a lot of us, and by us I mean you guys in chat too, and people watching us after the fact. I think a lot of us are like laser people, and I get what you're saying. I think like more and more people that aren't laser people are incorporating this into professional businesses that revolve around something else. I think we see that a lot in training. The people that primarily reach out to us when they need like one-on-one time with like getting their lasers set up, they're not starting small laser businesses. They're like integrating these machines into existing processes on like, you know, 6-7 figure businesses. Right. Yeah. And it's always really interesting to see the backgrounds that those people come from.
For sure.
Yeah, and it's smart to like it's all like people that they see the utility of it, and they know that they can expand their business using it. Whereas the naysayers that are like, oh, I'm a traditional leather worker, you know, I'm never going to use a laser. They might get left behind eventually, you know. So it's,
That's like you see all these people that do a lot of scroll work and stuff, or used to. now a lot of them have got lasers and using those instead. So that's pretty neat to see.
Yeah, it's like
Everybody say hi to Katie. Katie's
Good.
here. Hi, Katie.
They're doing a lot
Hey,
of the
Katie.
post processing after they get the hard work done with the laser. They're still getting in there with all their tools, smoothing it out, doing the backfilling. They're still it's just a tool. It's not replaced what they do. And they can come out with some really good results if they combine their knowledge and the laser together. It's really impressive.
Oh yeah.
We got one of Jason's customers here. Poppin says, hi, all late to this stream. Received my Talon last week. My bolt showed up today. At this point, I'm probably sub to most of you trying to learn all things laser. Thanks for all you do.
Well, thank you. Thank you.
You can do it. Do not give up. So many people give up. I saw a message
And
about
I'm here to help if you need it there. My number's on the rotary, so.
Resin wants to know 3-watt or 5-watt UV laser. I think we can all universally agree the 5 is the way to go between those two. I think the modern question is 5 or 10 watts.
Yeah.
And I think most people here will say 10, and I will probably tell you 5 unless you plan on doing round shit all the time. And even then, I get away with my 5. So I don't think it's
now they got a 15.
See, that's where, like, to me, so like doing these glasses, the cool thing is I've got the low roller for the glasses for the UV, and I've also got the Talon, which is nice. But it's one of those things where if you have the 10 watt, you could do if it's like a small thing, you could actually do the project mark because you'd have that depth of field. To I think what it'd go up to maybe like 2 millimeters, 2 and some change. With 10, anybody got a 10 in the nose? Depending on the lens. All right. Yeah. What do you got, Jason?
No, you said anybody got the 10.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I mean, do you have the 110 lens, or what do you use? Do you ever do project mark with it, or cylinder correction?
I don't usually mess with cylinder correction because it's just
Cylinder.
I just find it more difficult. I just use the rotary.
Yeah, well, that's
but
fair.
I think the lens I have on mine, it's either a 75 or a 110. I can't remember.
Yeah, I was gonna say, to me, honestly, what's nice about putting on the low rollers, I think it takes me because basically I've got the guy who I was talking to you about, he owns a few golf courses, and he ordered like a couple hundred glass pieces, and I think with his logo the way it is, it might take about like 2.5 minutes a glass, and so you pay $1.50 for a glass, or $1.15, and you sell them for 10. So pretty good money return there.
We need to have Katie back on soon. She says, I'm diving deep on fiber with you guys now. My Aurora Light arrived today.
Congratulations.
So
Nice.
we definitely need to. I want her to come on so we can touch base on like first impressions, how the new user experience is going. What kind of like hurdles you've had to overcome in your first couple of weeks with it. I'd love to hear about that. So
she should join the LMA, and then all of those hurdles would be wiped away.
Yeah. Also, Katie, if you haven't, go watch the Lightburn for Galvo crash course because it's really good.
That's actually fact.
And everything you need to know about Galvo lasers, probably a really good one for you to go watch too if you haven't yet. But yeah, that looks fun. And I think we're caught up.
And it's 58 minutes, man. God, we're good.
Shing. Yeah. Means you guys are only getting shortchanged like 6 minutes, including our late start. Not bad.
I mean, nobody comes here expecting extra change. Come on.
Oh, here we go. Katie's in. Done. Boom. All weekend spent on the Laser Everything channel. It's the place to be. No. Laura says yes. Bring Katie back. Oh, we will. Absolutely. Because Katie loves the #1 podcast where there are large groups of men. The Laser Source podcast. Can't even say it straight. Brought to you by Johnson Plastics Plus.
Ooh.
Matt, say some nice things about Johnson Plastics Plus.
They are great.
They are the best.
Laser Max.
No one is,
bro.
no one is sitting off camera with a gun pointed at my head.
Michael's talking about the Laser Max. Yeah,
I know. Laser Max is bae, dude.
Max for life, bro.
I will say that
Yo,
they've
we
got
we built Sonoma laser engraving on the back of Laser Max.
Absolutely, 100%.
That's a fact. That is a straight up fact.
I was gonna say, like, Michael's not wrong. Like, this is the time of year. If you haven't made any back to school backpack tags yet, just buy a couple of sheets and see what happens. I'm telling you, I did that, and then teacher classroom signs is another thing because again, people never think about the stuff that teachers literally have to have. So they have to be able to recognize the teacher's room from pretty far away for emergency purposes and all kinds of stuff. So, but teachers want cute stuff. They don't just want to hang a computer paper. So it's one of those things you can work with them, get to know them. And each one of those teachers has 25 little people who they might want to buy gifts for throughout the year. I mean, there's just so many, the customer base extends throughout the education field. So,
if you really want to hear Matt repeat himself over and over and over about this topic, you can go check out the newish episode that we just published called I don't know, what was it?
20. Well, you called it 20 laser things. People are like, there's sublimation things in that list. I'll kill you.
Yeah, well, there are. Matt gets a hard on for sublimation, I think is the title of the episode. Go watch that one. There's a picture of Matt looking really angry and frustrated with me while I goof off in the background.
Imagine.
It's a great episode to go check out some sweet Johnson Plastics Plus products. Let me see if I can do this off the top of my head without looking. Jason is bringing Apple Air to the US market at appleairusa.com. So if you are interested in that while they are getting their stock ready, go check that out. Check out specs, sizes, filter replacement costs, which are pretty inexpensive. That'll be a really good time. Anthony has been working on a lot of stuff over on his YouTube channel, Beam It Up Laserworks. He's been doing lots of really fun live streams. We've been posting them on the LMA and the Facebook group, so keep an eye out for them there. And maybe we'll see Bronson and some Anthony content before you leave. That would be fun.
Actually, that's on the docket. We should have something tomorrow.
Dope. So make sure you go subscribe. I'll add a link to Anthony's channel down in the description, right next to the link to Michael's channel, Laser Engraving 911. The beast mode over here, just pumping out content all the time, despite how difficult it is. He powers through. And really, really interesting content over there. Very different from Laser Everything. So if you want an entirely different flavor of laser engraving content, go sub to Michael's channel. Make sure you support him too, because he's always coming out with fun new stuff. What's the newest thing that's coming out that isn't out yet?
I'll give you a hint. It has to do with glass.
Okay. It has to do with glass. If you like glass, go check it out.
A clear tip right there.
Matt, I miss you, buddy. My life's been way quieter. Life's been way quieter since you started at FLVS. My ears are ringing all the time now because it's just silent, and I have tinnitus. And Kyle, I'm glad you're back full time, buddy. Missed you. And go play with my new toys, guys. I got a Lemmy up, lemmy.makearmy.io, and PixelFed, which is at pixels.makearmy.io. Go post something. Go have some fun. Go meet some people in this community. They're all amazing. And I love hanging out with you guys. And I just like creating spaces where we get to do that. That's my favorite thing. So that's it for plugs. I think that's all I've got. Does anybody else have anything to add before we take off? Did I remember everything? Right. That's all I got. If you guys love the show, consider supporting us over at masters.lasereverything.net. It's one of the best ways to support the channel. You can meet a ton of the people that are in this community, a ton of people that are in this live chat right now. They do such a good job helping out new users. There's so much good information over there, and it allows us to continue making this show and all the other stuff that we put up on Laser Everything. Big communities aren't really your thing. You just want to support the channel. You can find out all the other ways you can do that over at lasereverything.net/support. Now I'm done. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. We'll have less men next week, and maybe a wild Katie Delvin will wander her way into the studio at some point in the near future. Have a great night, everybody, and we will see you in the next one.